There has to be.
Have you taken money from an individual before for your campaign?
Oh, several individuals.
Was that ethical?
Yes, I mean they basically donated.
Did you declare? Is that right? Are you not compromising if you're an MP or a politician and you go to a businessman, you go to a media person, and say, I'm supporting you and this is the amount of money?
Yes.
AG, tell us sincerely, would that compromise you or not?
No, it doesn't compromise me. It doesn't compromise me. Okay, and let me say this. All right, all the political parties receive donations, either in cash or kind, from companies, from individuals, and so on. All right, I am no exception.
Okay,
and I'm not an angel when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Because I cannot run a campaign. I mean, so my first campaign, for instance, was run 70% from my own resources.
Okay.
All right. So
how much did it cost you to be? Yes.
At the time,
in 2012.
In 2012, I believe I must have done probably in excess of 1.5 million
Ghana cedis.
Yes, at the time.
To become an MP.
Yes, to become an MP. Yes.
You know,
I must have. Yes.
Wow.
You know, and it's becoming more and more expensive.
In 2024, how much did you spend? That must have been like 5 million.
I can't put a figure on it, but certainly between 3 to 4 million Ghana cedis.
And that is why people who will support will also then come to you and demand for certain.
Yeah, and part of the problem is the politics of patronage, because we are basically usually paying people, you know, to vote for us.
Yes.
And I don't think that is right. But I am forced to do it because that is a norm.
That is bribery.
So, for instance, almost every rally that I go to,
yes,
right. So we usually organize these little village rallies, right? You go to the rally and you are leaving the rally ground, and then you give them 20,000.
What?
That this MP says you should take this for water, and then the people clap, and then they stay back and share the money. Yes.
So it means that if you don't have the money, you might have the intellect. If you don't have the appeal,
don't worry about intellect. The appeal must be there, but don't worry about intellect.
Really?
I can tell you for
money. That is money crashing.
So let me tell you something.
Please do.
In 2012, I had just gotten to Bolga East from the classroom. So basically, I was very theoretical about my politics. So I was talking a lot of theory and so on and so forth. And then when I finished, my team will tell me that, we need to give them transport, or we need to give them money. Then at a point in time, I was just spending, and then I would call my office. I'll call, then my practice manager was for Senior Dalaba, Dr. Dalaba Rohi. I'll call her and say, look, I need more money. Can you do a check and let us go withdraw money? So I was basically running my campaign from my pocket. All right. So at a point in time, I told my campaign manager, I said, Joe, so maybe I should just give you people the money to distribute and let me go back to yes. It got to that. It got to a point that I said, it's not like they are looking for ideas. Of course, you make promises. I will build you a library, I'll do this, I'll do that. But it's not about convincing them, about your capabilities. Most of the time, it's about what you can give, at the end of the day.
This is interesting.
That makes
somebody just sent in a message and he says, look, with the MPP primaries and for even the NDC, if you have over 200,000 delegates and you are even giving each person 1,000 or 500,
yes,
that is over 20 million.
Yes.
Why are you going to?
Yeah. And my luck is that my constituency is a very small
constituency. Yes.
So I don't.
So if you are even doing 50,000, and I have been 50,000 people.
Yeah, and I've been very, 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 modest with them when it comes to money.
They understand.
They understand. No, they understand that. Look, I also use my personal money
yes,
to do things for the communities. Ooh. So I always tell them that it is better for me, all right, to come and dig a borehole for you than to give you the cash to spend. That's right? Great. It is better for me. I buy electricity poles to extend
with your own money, not the common fund.
With my own money, not the common fund. Yeah. Before the elections, I spent close to 200,000 buying electricity poles for one of the deprived communities, in my constituency. Wow. I buy wires, by myself. So most of the time, if you ask, my very good friend and partner in Chambers, Godwin Tamaklu, all right, Eduji.
Yes.
Now the MPA CEO.
Yeah.
Every time we won a case or we won a big, like we got money from our clients, I'll tell him, I'll say, okay, so 50% of this is going to the
So
consequences.
really, Honorable, it's not about you. You want to see your people do well. You want to give back.
I mean, I really took the decision to run because I wanted to make a difference. Very well.
So will he be brought to Ghana? Here and now at 5 minutes to 8. What do you know? Will he be brought? Yesterday we saw a news item.
Yes, he will be. He will be. Look, I mean, the possibility is very high. The possibility is very high. And he could either self-deport or face, deportation by the immigration judge on January 20th. Yes. So after the hearing, we will get to know what orders the judge made regarding his immigration status. But it's more serious than I have, put out. But
it's more serious.
But at the appropriate time, I don't want to announce. But
what scoop can you give? Because you owe it to Ghanaians to just give us a wind of how serious is this?
No, it's very serious. It's very serious. It's more serious than I have divulged at this point in time. So at this point, it will stay at a level of my briefing the president.
How will you ensure that due process for somebody like Ken Ofori-Atta, a statesman, a former finance minister, whom you've urged to come home and recuperate? Those were your words.
Yes.
How will you ensure that due process is followed? Because many feel that, well, you are going after, he can be tried in absentia. So why the rush?
No, but, well, he can be tried in absentia. All right. That is true. But it is better when he comes to, to answer. When he's here, physically present, and made to answer for whatever charges have been leveled against him by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And I also mentioned that there are other investigations that are going on. So it's not only the SML investigation, which has been conducted by the OSP, that links Ken Ofori-Atta to issues of accountability or alleged acts of criminality. There are other investigations that I am undertaking, that will be announced at the appropriate time.
Still on his person?
Yes. And for transactions linked to him. So
because we heard from his legal team, and you said that they are in touch with you in your interview on Newsfile on Joy FM, you mentioned it. But his legal team calls the U.S. detention an ambush, tied to medical treatment, because we know the clinic that he is at. While Ghana is also insisting he's a fugitive, where do we draw the line between health rights and evading maybe a corruption probe?
Well, I mean, you have the right, to to take access health facilities to take care of yourself, because you have the right to life, and if you do not take care of your physical health, all right, that can imperil your life as a person. So yes, Ken Ofori-Atta has his right to health. However, all right, he also owes it to the people of this country, having held an office of public trust, okay, to answer for his actions in that office. If he's innocent, he'll be acquitted and discharged by the courts of this country. All right, and Article 19 of the Constitution guarantees his right to a fair trial. And I have said, and I want to repeat it here, that I will not, superintend a system that will end run the fair trial rights of anyone.
And you stand by this?
And I stand by it. I will not in any way imperil his right to a fair trial.
Doctor, you warned and you mentioned that 2026 will be different, with potential 20 billion recoveries targeted. Which scandals like PDS or National Cathedral will see charges first?
No. So okay, fees. First of all, I was asked about the 20 billion.
Yes.
When we are going to see the 20 billion recovered, and I said it is a projection.
Oh.
It was a projection by the oral committee, the oral committee chairperson, the Honorable Okudzeto.
Before you came into power.
Before we came into power.
Okay.
No, okay. when we came into power. In fact, it was on the day that the oral report was being handed over to me that he mentioned the figure,
correct,
the 20.1 billion. But of course, that figure was based upon his own calculation of, the sums that were involved. So, for instance, if you take, you take, let's say, drip, all right, the figure involved there is over $100 and something million, right? When you take the value of lands that were, allegedly looted, the estimate the land in cantonments is what, 500,000 a plot.
Yeah.
So what he did was basically a back of the envelope type of calculation, and that is the figure that he put out. Now he has put a heavy load on my head because now everyone expects me to bring in, 20 billion. Yes, but
is that the case from where you sit?
No, from where I sit, it may be up to 20 billion. It may be up to 20 billion if you take what the funds we are tracing offshore, into account, because a lot of monies were moved out. Offshore. All right, and but if you take what is in country, the kinds of things we are looking at now. So if you take, let's say the buffer stock matter is 78 million Ghana cedis, that's like $7.8 million, right? Or the $7 million. If you take another $7 million from Eduboahin, $2 million from Skytrain, and so on and so forth. I do not think that you go up to 21 billion, but the offshore transactions are the ones that we are tracing, and we are thinking that those will be very huge ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've assured Ghanaians that oral recoveries will start flowing this year.
Yes, this year.
Can you give us specific timeline for the first public payout? And which cases will lead them?
I cannot. At this point in time, I cannot say that by February or by June. Yes, but hopefully we should be able. As I said on Saturday that the GRA, the Ghana Revenue Authority, has confirmed a figure of 22 million as being the figure that was the tax evasion in the drip scandal. So definitely
plus a $2 million overpayment.
Overpayment, yes. So those ones, I know. I'm close to taking action to recover those ones.
What happens to the company that has admitted to warehouse tax exempting goods? Because you're saying they are close to taking the money from them. Is that it?
Which company?
In the drip scandal.
Yes,
you said that 22 million in confirmed tax evasion.
Evasion, yes.
Yes.
So we are close to taking the money from them, but the warehousing issue is in relation to a letter that they wrote in March. Right, they wrote a letter in March to GRA saying that the goods that had been cleared into the National Customs territory, instead of going into a bonded warehouse, should now be accepted and warehoused. All right. So that letter, if you take those goods, they are like, I think the value of tax there is about 17.5 million. 17.5 million. Then you take those that were not supposed to be warehouses, about 5-point-something million. So that's why we have a little over 22 million to collect from them.
And they are ready to pay, or you're going for that money?
I'm going after them for it.
Hey, that Ken Ofori-Atta baby do Ghana de menim adebesi e Ghana memu ha, because currently one person government no any Ghana fo nyina e hwe nanim. So we Ghana ni na embum akwakodi obi man so. Na Ghana fo ehia no se omra Ghana na waye na adwen se omma na so moya na so mutumi edi Ken Ofori-Atta ebedu Ghana edien na Ghana fo ebeye na sika dodo sen ene wo Ken Ofori-Atta ho ntia emasisi ya no. The government, the Ghanaians are seeking say omra Ghana. Ken Ofori-Atta Attorney General Akasa was say by 20th of this particular month, January, Nyankopon eya adumu a ebia Ken Ofori-Atta baba bedu Ghana. Na so oba, you all know what will be happening to him. Minia Attorney General Akasa kyerɛ wadwen e wo comment section ho. Munya subscribe ya mesro so be subscribe. Be like video na share me with no onya bi enwe. Nyankopon hyira. Me ne wo bi hie bi sisi ere makra. Bye bye.